Hello and welcome to another video on Homewood Avenue lights. In this video, it's going to be one of a few I'm going to do dedicated strictly to the pixels. In the background over here you see our pixel trees running. So in this one I want to give you a little bit closer up look as to how these lights are laid out. It's one of the important things, one of many important things actually, when you're setting up pixels and going to run pixel, and these are smart pixels, that you definitely need to know and keep in mind when you're getting ready to set up your light show. So let's go over a little closer to the trees. These pixel trees and the way we set them up and what we want to do are what they call the 360 degree tree. The lights go all the way around the tree, front and back, so no matter which angle you're looking at it, you're looking at the shape of a tree. You can set these up in what they call like 180 degree, where it would be like you had a wall right here and just the front half, so it would give you a three-dimensional look, maybe up against a wall. You can also do what they call the 90 degree, which would basically take half of this and just make it dead flat on a wall. So you're just putting it on the side of your house, but you still want to have like a triangle look and still do the effects. You can do any which way you want. You just have to make certain, that your software and all that stuff is set up the way you want it to match what you're doing. And the one thing you have to keep in mind with these pixels, on these trees, you don't just put the lights on them, the stars or anything. You don't just run your string of lights. They have to be put a specific way when you put them on, and you have to make certain your software and your computer knows exactly how you put them on. As I stated, these trees are what they do, or what they call a 360 degree, which means it goes all the way around. But if you actually were able to see this up close in person, the lighting sequence, very in the back, in the middle, is light number 1, and it literally goes up the line, over, and right back down the line. They have to go in order, up and down and right back. And then in your software you set it up so that it knows how your tree is set up, because with RGBs each one of these gets its own number from the computer, so it knows to make this particular light do something right and what it needs to do. You see it so much how it's doing these patterns. When it's running a spiral pattern or something, it's very critical that these lights are put in order in the right way. Now I'm also saying, when I say that in order, it's not that when you buy them you have to make sure you buy light number 1 or anything like that. They figure themselves out. It's just the way the whole data system works, coming through the information wire coming into here. So you can take any string and put it, and it will be number 1 in line or whatever. You don't have to tell them what they are or anything like that. That's all done by the computer. If for some reason I have to change one of these light strands out, I can just buy another one, change it out, put it right back in here, plug it in, and it works fine. So that part's not real complicated, but it's something when you're building your RGB props, or maybe you're laying out strings of them, you have to make sure you put them in correctly so that they are in sequence and running a continuous line. If you were to jump all these around and just like maybe fill in a line like this, it would work, but it's a whole lot harder on the computer and a lot more on the computer work to tell it where everything is. The computer has to know exactly how your lights are strung. On these trees, to make our patterns work correctly, you have to start with the back, work your way up, and come all the way around to the side. The spiral effect is one of them that really is critical on this. If it's not right, it doesn't look right. So make sure you do that on any of these. This is how our trees are. Now our stars, they are built the way I made these and all that stuff. As I said, when you have to make sure your lights are in a proper order, the tails are 1 unit, or I should say 1 unit, 1 circuit. So there's 100 lights in here and 100 lights in the stars. The way I have to the way you have to place the lights is like here. I started here, work came up, came across, came back down, over, back up, and back down, so that they are in order, and then I set that up in the computer. The way I built these, and these stars are the same way, they actually start in the center and work their way out. these are going to fall under your custom props. I'll show you, there's a video I've got going that'll show you how to set up something like this in your computer so that your computer knows how it's set up and can talk to it and make it work properly. Now the matrix screens, the majority of the matrix screens you're going to see, and you can do this setup really easy on the computer, is you start at the one corner, and you can pick any corner depending on which way and a lot of it depends on where you want your cords to come out. Wherever how you're setting it up, you may want your cords over here in the bottom corner. You may want your cords coming out here. But you'll start right here and run the bottom row all the way across, flip over, come all the way back, and make sure it's very precise. You can't go zigzagging around just filling a hole or something like that. You could, if you wanted to, go up and down as long as you went in order all the way across, and then you match it up to the computer. Our matrix screen, because of the way I wanted it, where I was putting it, in the center of the house up front, we have a pillar coming down. I want my cords to come straight down, right out of the middle. Our porch has a pillar right there. It was an easy way to kind of hide the cord. So this particular matrix screen, to make it like I wanted, and as I said, with saving run space or length, because you have to watch, you know, you don't want to get these cords too long, rather than run it up, come over, and come into the corner, just to save 2 feet, this screen is actually set up so I started in the middle. The first strand started here, went out, over, down, and came back. That's how this first string is. The next string was the same thing. Started right here, came over that row, up, went all the way back down, and came in and filled it in. You can do that. That's not a problem. Obviously, mine's working. You just have to make sure you set it up in the computer that way. Because I did that, this matrix screen falls under the custom make when you're setting it up in your computer. If you do it just off one corner, the computer, our software, the Light-O-Rama software, you can easily set it up and configure it so it works just fine. You see the spiral effect on that? If you don't get that right and set up in the computer, this effect especially won't work very well. It may be over here and doing weird stuff. But setting it up in the computer is very important on the Pixel lights. It's not real hard. There are some tricks. I definitely learned a lot when we started doing them. I definitely made some mistakes. One of the things you see them all in here I'm working on is fixing a few mistakes. Now that I've seen how it was acting and all that. So other than that, they're fun. I like them. But if you're going to do the Pixels, there is some more work and there is some things you have to do and make sure you get it right for them to work this way. All on computer. Once you get it done to one time, then it's easy from there. You're just doing the programming. So hope this helped explain a little bit more about the Pixel lights and what you're going to have to watch out for. So until next time, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next one. God bless, be safe.